Beneath the oceans, in the darkest depths, lies an unseen battleground, hidden from the eyes of the world. This is where nearly all the world's data flows. The emails you send, the bank transactions you make, and even government secrets are transmitted. Welcome to the high-stakes world of undersea cables, a silent but explosive front in the intensifying rivalry between the United States and China. Imagine if these cables, spanning oceans, linking continents, and carrying 99% of the world's internet traffic, were tampered with or controlled by a rival nation. For the US, for China, and for the world, the consequences could be devastating and far-reaching. We're talking about the potential for catastrophic disruptions to our global economy, breaches of national security, and an unprecedented escalation in cyber warfare. Today, we're diving into the hidden infrastructure that powers our digital world and uncovering why the US and China are so desperately vying for control. This isn't just a story about technology, it's about power, security, and the looming threat of a digital arms race that could reshape the world as we know it. Are we on the brink of a new kind of Cold War? Let's explore the dangerous consequences of this undersea cable race and what's truly at stake for the future of global security. Over 99% of international data travels through these undersea cables. They are the backbone of global communication. Without them, the internet as we know it would cease to exist. Global trade relies on the instant communication these cables provide. Financial markets depend on them for real-time updates. Our daily lives, from social media to online shopping, are all made possible by this unseen network. The strategic importance of these cables has not gone unnoticed. Throughout history, there have been numerous instances of cable sabotage. During wartime, enemies often cut cables to disrupt communications. Even accidental damage from fishing trawlers or natural disasters can have significant consequences. The reliance on a limited number of choke points, where multiple cables converge, makes the system particularly vulnerable. Rising tensions. The US and China's undersea rivalry. The vast, mysterious depths of the ocean have become the latest frontier in the geopolitical struggle between the United States and China. This rivalry is not just about who controls the seas, but who controls the vital undersea infrastructure that connects the world, including the internet and other communication networks. In recent years, concerns have grown over the potential for China to exploit its growing influence in undersea cable infrastructure. These cables are the backbone of global communications, carrying 95% of international data. The stakes are incredibly high, as any disruption could have catastrophic consequences for global connectivity and security, affecting everything from financial transactions to military communications. The US government has expressed concerns about Chinese companies involved in cable laying and maintenance. American officials worry that these companies, often with close ties to the Chinese government, could be used as instruments of state power. The fear is that China could gain access to sensitive data or even control over the flow of information, potentially manipulating it to their advantage. There are fears that China could potentially use its access to these cables for espionage purposes. Surveillance equipment could be installed to monitor data traffic, giving China an unprecedented ability to spy on communications. This has led to increased scrutiny and calls for greater security measures to protect these critical infrastructures from potential threats. The US is also wary of China's ability to disrupt or damage these cables in the event of a conflict. Such actions could cripple communications and have severe economic and military repercussions. As a result, the US is investing heavily in protecting its undersea assets and developing strategies to counter potential threats. The undersea rivalry between the US and China is a complex and high-stakes game with far-reaching implications for global security and stability, making it a critical issue for both nations. The stakes are high economic disruption and espionage. In this section, we delve into the critical importance of undersea cables and the potential threats they face. These cables are the backbone of global communication, carrying vast amounts of data across continents. They are essential for the functioning of the internet, international phone calls, and even financial transactions. Without them, our modern world would come to a standstill. The potential consequences of undersea cable disruption are significant. Imagine a scenario where these cables are damaged or severed. The immediate impact would be a loss of communication between countries, affecting everything from personal conversations to business negotiations. Repairing these cables is a complex and time-consuming process, often requiring specialized ships and equipment. The logistical challenges alone can be daunting. Cutting off or interfering with these cables could cripple global communication. The internet, which we rely on for almost every aspect of modern life, could be severely disrupted. This would not only affect social media and entertainment, but also critical services like online banking, emergency services, and government operations. The ripple effects would be felt in every corner of the globe. Financial markets could be thrown into chaos. Stock exchanges around the world depend on real-time data to function. A disruption in communication could lead to delays in trading, misinformation, and ultimately, a loss of investor confidence. The ripple effect could cause a global financial crisis, with stock markets crashing and economies plunging into recession. The stability of the global financial system would be at risk. Businesses could face major disruptions. Companies that rely on international communication for their operations would be particularly hard hit. This includes everything from multinational corporations to small businesses that depend on global supply chains. The inability to communicate effectively could lead to missed deadlines, lost contracts, and significant financial losses. The economic toll on businesses could be devastating. The economic impact would be felt worldwide. Countries that are heavily dependent on international trade would suffer the most. The disruption of undersea cables could lead to a decrease in global trade, higher prices for goods and services, and a slowdown in economic growth. The interconnected nature of the global economy means that no country would be immune to these effects. The global economic landscape would be altered dramatically. Beyond economic damage, there are also serious concerns about espionage. Undersea cables are a prime target for intelligence agencies looking to gather information. By tapping into these cables, a nation could gain access to vast amounts of sensitive data, including government communications, corporate secrets, and personal information. The implications for national security are profound. Tapping into these cables could give a nation access to vast amounts of sensitive data. This could be used for a variety of purposes, from gaining a competitive advantage in international negotiations to conducting cyber attacks. The potential for misuse of this information is enormous, and the consequences could be devastating for national security and individual privacy. The stakes have never been higher. Securing these cables is a complex challenge. It involves a combination of technological solutions and international diplomacy. Surveillance systems can be deployed to monitor cable routes for suspicious activity. Advanced sensors can detect attempts to tamper with cables. Investing in redundancy by laying multiple cable routes can mitigate the impact of any single disruption. The competition for control and influence over undersea cables highlights a new dimension of global power dynamics. The deep sea, once considered a remote and irrelevant domain, is now a critical strategic battleground. As our dependence on these cables grows, so too will the importance of protecting them. The future of the internet, and indeed the global economy, may well depend on it. The future of this competition remains uncertain, but one thing is clear. This undersea cable race has the potential to reshape our world in ways we may not be prepared for. What do you think about this hidden conflict under the seas? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed this dive into the world of undersea cables and geopolitics, don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more insights. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Cenas for Cedar.